So welcome you all. In this session, let us see the working principle of step-up chopper and the performance parameters of DC to DC converters. So the first is the principle of step-up chopper. So you can observe here this circuit is somewhat different from that of the step-down chopper. There you had the thyristor switch in series with the load. Here you have it connected across the load. And you observe that there are two components, that is L and C. So the value of the inductor and the capacitor which are chosen here, it depends mainly upon the requirement of the output voltage and the current. So here, how is it going to work? So first we will assume that the chopper is on. That means our thyristor is on. So how will the thyristor be on? By applying the gate pulse. So what will happen if the thyristor is on? So when the thyristor is on, the current will flow through the inductor, through the thyristor and back to the supply. This is when the thyristor is on. So when the thyristor is on, the current flows from the supply through the inductor, through the thyristor and back to the supply. So in that case, the inductor will store the energy. So to say that when the thyristor is on, inductor stores energy. Inductor stores energy. And when the thyristor is off, what will happen? The inductor has the current, right? Inductor has stored the energy. Now it has to flow. So if the thyristor is off, okay, then the current which was there in the inductor now is forced to flow through the diode because here it is open. It will not conduct. So the current is forced to flow through the diode and through the load, that is during the off period of the thyristor. So during off period of the thyristor, the current flows through the inductor, through the diode, through the capacitor, nothing but through the load, okay, and that is a load, and then back to the supply. So this is during the off period of the chopper. So initially, during on period of the chopper, the inductor carries the energy. So when the chopper is on, assuming the voltage across the thyristor to be 0, what is the voltage across the inductor? Voltage across the inductor will be equal to your supply voltage. Okay, so we will write it. So when the chopper is on or when the thyristor is on, when the thyristor or SCR is on, the inductor stores energy. Inductor stores energy. The voltage across the thyristor is 0. Then what is the voltage across the inductor? Voltage across the inductor VL is equal to the supply voltage V. So therefore, the energy which is stored, in inductor, that is during the on period of the thyristor, is V, that is VL, V into the current which is I into the on period which is T on. So VI into T on is the energy stored in an inductor. But when the chopper is off or when the thyristor is off, what will happen? The current which was flowing through the inductor now flows through the diode. That means energy is supplied by the inductor. So what is the energy supplied by the inductor? the energy which is supplied by the inductor will be V naught energy, which is now energy supplied by inductor is, what is it? So what is the output voltage V naught? Output voltage V naught will be V naught is V plus the voltage across the inductor, which is L di by dt. So the energy supplied by the inductor will be V naught minus V into I into T off. Okay, so we neglect the losses and we say that the energy stored by the inductor is nothing but equal to the energy supplied by an inductor. So energy stored by an inductor will be equal to energy supplied by an inductor neglecting the losses. So what is the meaning of that? Vi into T on is equal to V naught minus V into I into T off. So how can we get the expression for V naught? So this I and I get cancelled. So we have V into T on is equal to V naught into T off minus V into T off, or V into T on plus T off is equal to V naught into T off, or V naught is equal to V into T on plus T off divided by T off. So this is the expression. Now this is the expression for V naught. Now what we will do is we will rearrange this on period and off period such that we get V naught in terms of duty cycle. Okay, so that would be easy for us to analyze. So here also, by looking at this expression for V naught, we can say that we can obtain a variable output voltage by varying the on period, by varying the off period, by varying the total time period T of the thyristor. So now let us rewrite the expression. Instead of T on and T off, we will express in terms of the duty cycle. So we have got V naught is equal to V into T on plus T off divided by T off. So this T on is nothing but total time period T divided by, how can you write T off in terms of T? So we know that T is equal to T on plus T off. So T off is nothing but T minus T on. T minus T on. This is what you can write. Or I divide it by T. Both numerator and denominator I will divide it by T. So this becomes 1. 1 minus T on by T. What is T on by T? T on by T is nothing but the duty cycle. So it is 1 over 1 minus D, where D is the duty cycle. So you can see that whenever we vary the duty cycle, we will get a output voltage V naught, so which should be a variable. And remember that when we have the duty cycle varying from 0 to 1, the output voltage will vary from V to infinity. So if say for example, if we take duty cycle D is equal to 0, then what is V naught equal to? 1 minus 0 is 1. So what is V naught equal to V? Okay. Then if D is equal to 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So what is V naught? V naught is infinity. So our output voltage varies from V to infinity. That means the output voltage is greater than the input voltage. Okay, so this is in the case of step-up chopper. So we need to have inductance, we need to have a capacitor. So if we use a large capacitor across the load, then the capacitor will provide a continuous output voltage V. So we can select the inductor and the capacitor based on our output voltage and current requirement. Next, coming to the performance parameters of DC to DC converters. So both the input as well as the output voltage of a DC to DC converter are nothing but DC. So it will produce a fixed variable DC from a fixed DC. So whatever output is being obtained, we should see that it is really a pure DC without containing any harmonics or ripples. So we have certain performance parameters or certain parameters which will decide the performance of a DC to DC converter. So the first one is the DC output power. First one is DC output power. So DC output power is PDC, which is IA into VA, where IA and VA are the average load voltage and load current. These are the average load voltage and load current. So this is the first performance parameter. The next one is the AC output power. AC output power PAC is equal to I0 into V0. So this V0 and I0 are the RMS load voltage and RMS load current. V0 and I0 are the RMS load voltage and load current. Okay. So how can we write the converter efficiency? Converter efficiency is nothing but eta, which is PDC by PAC. So the RMS, third one is the RMS ripple content. RMS ripple content of the output voltage. RMS ripple content of the output voltage, that is VR is equal to root of V0 square minus VA square. VR is equal to root of V0 square minus. The third performance parameter is RMS ripple content of the output voltage. So the RMS ripple content of the output voltage is given as VR is equal to root of V0 square minus VA square. Next is RMS ripple content of the input current. So that is IR is equal to root of II square minus IS square. So the next one is the ripple factor of the output voltage. So the ripple factor of the output voltage is given by VR by VA, and the last one is ripple factor of the input current. So this is IR by IS. So these are nothing but the performance parameters of the DC to DC converters, wherein we see how our DC to DC converters is being performed. So the power efficiency mainly depends on the switching losses, which in turn depends on the switching frequency of the converter. So the switching frequency should be high so as to reduce the values and size of the capacitance and inductances. Thank you.